grandest vision possible for your life, because you become what you believe.
Dig deep down and ask yourselves, who do you want to be?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Majitana Bumwana, welcome to it. It's In the Game with Mpixo P, the greatest on Free State Online Network. And you know, we talking nothing but sports, and we bring all types of athletes. And today, I got you an athlete that's playing two sports at once, plus education. I don't know how she does it, but she will tell us. In fact, she's playing for 3 teams, I'd like to believe, because it's the soccer team and 2 netball teams. Is that possible? With her, it is. And ladies and gentlemen, our guest for today is SIZEKA ADOONS, SIZEKA aka Tower. And I'd like to believe Tower is from football, but you will correct me. SIZEKA, how are you doing? No, I'm awesome, man. I'm awesome. You know, I'm just puzzled. I wonder, how do you do it playing for 3 teams? But for our viewers to get an idea, which are those 3 teams that you're playing for?
I play for CET Netball, Free State Sonoblomo, and I also play for CET Football.
Man, interesting. But before we get into it, listen, I just want us, you know, to relax a little bit and just break the ice so that you get comfortable with a few questions that I'd like to get answers that I would like to get from you. For example, you play netball, you play football, right? Who's your favorite soccer player?
My favorite soccer player is Virgil van Dijk.
Why?
How he is, he's so, like, I'd say he's so arrogant, in a way, but it's not arrogancy as such, but it's how he, like, the confidence, man. Yeah. And he knows what he's doing, so, yeah.
So you're gonna tell me that this is the player that you basically watch and take notes from, basically.
Exactly, because we say we play the same position.
Allah. But okay, I'll come to that. As far as netball is concerned, who's your favorite player and why?
Who's my favorite player in netball?
Yeah.
Kanyisa Chawani. We don't play the same position, but she does all the work. Like, she makes wonders. So, like, she's a superstar. Yeah. Like Kanyisa Chawani.
Man, I once had an interview with her when I was still back in radio. I know, like, personally, she's such a cool person.
Yeah, she is very.
But now let's get to it. How do you balance, you know, being able to play soccer, netball, and netball not only for 1 team but for 3 teams? How do you get that balance?
Okay, with soccer, let me start with netball. Yeah. Netball, playing for 2 teams, like, the season is not the same, like, on the same time.
Okay.
Like, we have Mangaung League, whereby CUT netball is participating in, and also we have USAS, whereby all the universities go and participate in, and then we have TNL, whereby all the players are able to trial when they were, like, it's like a squad, a Free State squad. It doesn't matter where you come from, what team you come from, you just go there and trial to be part of the team. So it's like that. So they don't really clash. Okay. I'd say. Yeah, they don't clash. But with soccer being in the picture, sometimes they do, because sometimes whenever I have to play soccer, I have a league match in soccer. I also have a league match in netball. But then luckily netball plays in the morning, start around 8 a.m. So league matches for soccer at 1. Yeah.
So has it ever happened that you find yourself, you know, having had to play, like, in the morning netball and then you play later soccer?
Yes, it happened.
Doesn't it?
Especially if I play like a soccer home game, because I don't have to travel. Okay. Yeah. So after playing netball, if the league is finished, all the matches are finished for that day, then I go for soccer.
Okay, let's start with netball. In fact, let's start with soccer, because you have them both, but for netball it looks like you have a quite a more bigger stage than one would think, right? With football, where did it start?
Actually, like you're gonna be surprised. I started football when I was still little. I never knew what netball was back then because like I used to play football with my dad.
Okay.
I used to play with boys in boys teams, like when I was still in primary. But then in high school you don't get such because like the leagues are getting more serious, so you can't have a girl playing for boys teams.
Yeah.
So I struggled a lot because there were no ladies
Teams
back then. So like I had to pull out from soccer in high school. Grade 8, I didn't play any sport because like I didn't find any ladies football team.
Yeah.
And then grade 9, I was sick one time, and then I went to the office waiting for my mom to come pick me up, and then the netball coach was like, "Utle training, training,
Yeah.
training and netball." Like he just saw like he was a male. He's a
Yeah.
male. He saw my height, and then he was like, "Utle training, yeah, netball." That time I didn't even know what that was. And then I just went to training the following week. And then the same year I made it to the first team during
Yeah.
grade 9.
Yeah.
I got even the best player,
What school was that?
St. Bennett's
Yeah.
High.
Yeah.
I even got the best player. We have something like USAs. Universities
Yeah.
have USAs, but we also have like St. Bennett's is a Catholic school.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have inter-CBC, whereby all the CBC schools in South Africa meet.
Yeah.
So like that's where I got the best player from.
Okay.
So my love for netball started there. That
Going,
okay, I'm able to do this. I
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
I'm actually good at this.
But
So-
I want this one of football because I know for netball, like, yo, we can have the whole show talking about netball. And then you don't get the opportunity to play football in high school. And then you go to university. Did you start from your first year?
No, I didn't. I didn't even think there was still a ladies team.
Yeah.
I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Up until my teammate Kaka invited me. I actually invited my friend,
Yeah.
Snob.
Yeah.
I had a friend.
Yeah.
So Snob and I was like, Bologna.
Yeah.
Lina kaya. I started with my all-stars. I remember that year, it was my second year. I started with all-stars but then it was so much fun.
Yeah.
That one year when like I couldn't balance my academics with sport, I had to drop one sport, my mom said.
Yeah. So which one did you drop?
I dropped netball for
Nibanda.
soccer because I still had the love for it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You dropped netball for soccer,
soccer.
and then you continued to
I
play
continued
for
to-
the team.
yeah.
So in terms of play, which one at the time when you started gave you more opportunity?
It's netball. Like CUT, I'd say CUT, the sports management from CUT saw me while I was still playing in high
St.
school.
Bernard, yeah.
Yeah, so like they knew me from there.
Okay.
So even going for my first year at the university, I made it to the first team.
Yeah.
So it gave me like opportunities to travel.
Yeah.
Things like
Listen, let's take a quick break. When we come back from the break, I want us to talk about everything netball now and leave soccer a little bit. But later on, we'll catch up with that soccer conversation again.
Okay.
So we're taking a break. When we come back, we're still in conversation with SIZEKA ADOONS. I told you, she's playing for 3 teams, 2 sports. Isn't that incredible? Plus, she's also graduating. But we'll talk about that as well. Ayob.
Deep down, ask yourselves, who do you want to be?
Welcome back. It's still in the game with Mpixo, the greatest on Free State Online Network. And our guest, SIZEKA ADOONS, Tawa, is still in the house and is still having a conversation with her. SIZEKA, look, you touched a little bit on how you came to play netball, right? Your coach at the time invited you to come through and play. Therefore, this means it was not anything that was in your plans to actually participate in. But it started in high school, and that's how it actually happened. So you talked about it being a thing in high school, and then you got to varsity, and then you didn't want to, you had to choose one because your studies and and you decided to go for football. But how did you get back to the court and find yourself playing netball again?
Thing is, I've always, like, not really always, I fell in love with netball. With the sport, with the people in the sport, but then, since I had to choose, I had to choose a more linear, like, where they could understand. Not really netball, they wouldn't understand, but netball, it's like a full-time thing. It plays from Jan to December. So I really had to choose soccer because it has a period whereby we only play league and then we're done. So that's how I came to that decision to say, okay, let me save my academics, but in the same time, I'm not leaving sports.
Yeah, and then so therefore this means that when the football league went to a break, then you could be able to go and play netball.
No, I came back the following year.
Oh, you came back to netball
the following
that
year.
Would have been your second year, right?
Yes.
And then you started playing all of them again.
I started playing both of them, and I started balancing.
Oh crap, that's that's really nice. Now you play for CUT. You mentioned something very important on our way here, on our way to the studio, and you said, you know what? I asked you if you could choose now. Which one would you choose? And you're like, hey, netball, it's paying for my school. Exactly. At what point did they start paying for your school?
The year, what is it?
Your second year when you came back, or
no, after COVID was 2020, 2021.
2021.
Yeah.
That's when they started.
That's when they started.
How did that come about?
Like we all get bursaries. It's not a full bursary whereby it can cover all your like meals, tuition, and accommodation. Yeah, but that's where I'm getting at least something from. So soccer, I'm just playing it for the love of it because I can't benefit 2 times from the same institution.
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah, that's why I said I'd choose netball because, yeah.
So you play for CUT, and then where do you come and play for Sonobloms now? Like, you find yourself in bigger leagues, and how did that happen?
Like I said, you can trial for Sonoblomo and there's 2 teams for Free State. There's Free State Crinums and Free State Sonoblomo. I've tried, Sonoblomo started playing last year. I've tried for Crinums, I think, for quite some time. I didn't make it into a team. Up until I made it a year before last into the Crinums team, but I made it as a non-traveler. As like a practice partner. Yeah. But then that was an achievement because, that perseverance. Crinums is big.
I can imagine, even when you say I've been trying, I can imagine the competition must be super tight there.
Exactly. So, but one thing, I didn't give up. Even when my friends made it into a team, I was like, okay. I was so happy for them, but I told myself, one day,
it's one day.
I'm also coming.
Yeah,
I didn't give up. And then that year I made it into a team. I was so happy. Even when I knew that I wasn't part of the traveling team. But it was a big achievement for me because my name being listed under that team. It's like, okay, meaning there's growth in my play. That's how I saw it. Meaning I'm getting somewhere with what I'm doing. And then the following year, Free State Sonoblomo came. Boom, I was part of the team, part of the traveling team. And I was like, this is really paying off. What I've been putting in is really paying off. So, yeah.
So how was it like? Because now you're no longer just a training partner. You're no longer. You are now playing. Because when I first saw you in that team, I was shocked. I didn't believe my eyes. I was like, no ways. I know this lady, and I was like, SIZEKA. You know what I'm saying? And I could imagine the excitement because I used to check you out on Facebook and you'd post action pictures and all of that. Now starting to play in a more professional league now, competition is tight, it's going on, like it's happening, you are there. What was the feeling like, and how did you find it to adapt? Did you find it easy? Was it difficult?
First of all, it's nerve-wracking. Stepping on that, like it's excitement at first, like I'm part of this team, even when training and all, before the season starts. Before the season actually commences. And now I'm part of the team and all that. But then the minute you step on that court, you realize this is real. This is really happening. And when the whistle goes, you feel it. Or this is a competition. This is like you are in a lion's den.
So do you remember your first game, like when you played for the Sonobloms and then you get into your first
I remember
game?
my first game. I wanted to win. I had a plan. I had like a goal. I was like, this is my play of the match.
And then what happened?
Game. I didn't get it, but then I felt like I was the player of the match. Like, not really like the player of the match didn't deserve it, but I played at my utmost best. Even my teammates, even the coaches, and after the game, they did say that. But yeah, I felt, even before them saying that, but I felt it. I did everything, like I left everything on court. So I'd say that was really my play of the match.
Who were you playing?
We were playing KZN Queens, Kingdom Queens.
So were you playing at home or were you playing away?
We were playing at Limpopo.
Yeah,
the first bumper was at Limpopo.
Oh, that must have been.
And that day I played, I played I played a defense and then I had to go to attack. So.
Look, you now say, okay, this was my first game and this is how I felt. You wanted to be man of the match, player of the match. But there's definitely in that time, since you started playing at that professional level, there must have been a game you say, yo, till this day, this must have been a difficult game for me. Which game was that? Or for the team even, where we say, yo, we went all in and still it was tough. Or it's just one of those memorable games. You know, you have those games that never leaves your memory. Like when you think of your career, you know, they are there. Which one was that?
The first one was, I think I have two. But the first one was against Baobabs, the Limpopo Baobabs. Yeah, it was it was a strong team. It got promoted to the first division. So that was the most strongest team in the second division. Like the B division. So I feel like that it required a lot. Especially I wasn't playing the position I used to play. But I feel like if coach trusts you to play somewhere, she sees you doing the job. But then I feel like I really tried. I did it. But we still lost. And then the second one was this. It was a nail biting
type
match.
Game,
It was against the Mpumalanga Sunbeds, whereby we lost by 3. And that's also it's the second best in our pool. It was the second best. So we went all out. I'd never forget that game. Even the atmosphere around there in the arena, it was like a final that day, whereby we went all out as the new team against an old team, whereby they had well-known players, players who do people who are known, and then we were just the newbies in the league, and then we lost by 3. That was an achievement for us.
Listen, while you're talking about that, let's take a quick break. When we come back from the break, we're wrapping up the conversation. You know, this is quite exciting to be talking to somebody that plays 2 sports, I can tell you. I'm trying to figure out what we should talk about more than the other. But let's take a break, and when we come back, we continue with the conversation with our guest.
Dig deep down and ask yourselves, who do
Welcome back to In the Game, and we're still having a chat with SIZEKA ADOONS, you know, a lady that plays both soccer and netball. It must be nice being here, I tell you. Listen, it really fascinates me how you do it. Let's talk in terms of training, right? Because I also want to touch on the derby. Of course, you must have played against Cranhams. Come on. I want to touch on that, but I want to think about the training that you guys go through, and how do you then manage to do 2 trainings maybe like for 2 teams, because I think at some point it happens that you training with soccer and then later on with netball, or either way. How does it work in terms of training?
With training, in the morning I have gym. First 5 in the morning I have gym.
Yeah.
Like all the netball players are required to be at gym by 5:30.
Okay.
Yeah, they're by First Aid Science Institute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have training at 5:30, whereby we condition our bodies and all that. And then during the day, it's work for those who are working, and then it's school for those who are still going to school. And then after that, soccer starts at 4 p.m. And then it's soccer. It used to be. It used to be soccer, and then by 6, 5:30, I'd leave soccer for netball to go train netball.
No, but wasn't that too much for your body though?
No, like it was too much at first, but I got used to it. Like, I feel like if you put your mind into something, you can achieve it. So it didn't even click my mind that this is too much. But because that's what I've wanted, that's what I've loved doing, so it didn't really,
Because you know why I asked that? Because for me, in terms of netball, I find netball more intense than soccer. It's short. You're running short spaces
sprints
in a very short space of time, and it must be taking a lot from your legs as opposed to football. But let's talk in terms of the Sonneblom's playing against the Cranhams.
Okay.
Already the Cranhams, they've got a fan base in the province, but it must have been something that was amazing for you, because you played, in that squad. Your name was once upon a time in that squad, so you probably knew some players who were playing there. What was it like, your first game against the Cranhams? We
didn't play so many matches against Cranhams. We've played. It was when we were invited in KZN. KZN Super League invited Cranhams and Sonneblom to play against KZN teams. So we played against the teams from KZN, and then we had to play against Cranhams. Okay, Cranhams regard us as their babies, and we get it. They're a big team, and then we just got here. But and then it was so intense. It really was so intense, and they beat us. It was not really given, but we were still learning. We're still toddlers in the league. So they beat us, but then it was like a learning curve, because this very same coach who's coaching them coaches us at CT Netball. So playing against my coach. Was it Coach Martha? It's Coach Martha.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she coaches at CET.
Yeah.
So playing against my coach was like.
So you kind of know the tactics. It's like this is more like an open book. You're one of those players.
It's a challenge also, because she knows me.
Yeah.
So it was really an intense game, but it was also a learning curve. But I wouldn't say we played professional matches against them.
Okay. Or professional level, you haven't played against each other. Okay, so
we are in different pools.
You just mentioned something you played against Coach Martha, who at the point is not your coach, but at some point she's your coach. It's crazy. It's like playing for a national team, and then you play with this coach only to find this coach is going to coach another team. It's crazy. But then look, so you played against the Cranhams, you played against all these other teams, and one wonders, now you have these 2 things that are really working. And I can tell you, they really need you. I know you were moved from one position to another position. Was that Monib who moved you?
Yeah, Monib moved me. The year I started playing football, Monib was the head coach of ladies soccer.
Yeah.
So I came in there playing, like I was a forward,
Yeah.
a striker. They even called me Rashford one time. Yeah, I was a striker, and then when he moved me from attack to defense, whereby I asked him one time, and then he said because he had so many forwards, and he lacked in the defense, and then because he saw that I could play there, and then he put me there, and I still excelled. I believe so because
You still there?
I'm a superstar.
So what would happen if you find yourself, making it to a bigger league as far as football is concerned? I mean, I say that because I always look at Bamba 9 and I'm like, hey, at some point Bamba 9 was just walking around CT like any other person, playing football, and then next thing she's playing Celtic, and then now she's at Sundowns, and then national team, What then happens if you break through, like you've broken through in terms of soccer at netball, and you find yourself in the national team, and then you have to, which one would you go for?
Like, if I broke through in soccer
in both
also.
of them, like you break through in both of them at the same time.
And then
I know they don't play at the same
time,
time, but you break through on both of them at the same time. You find maybe let's say you find Sundowns calling you, and on the other side the national team for netball is calling you.
Ooh,
where do you
that
go?
would be a difficult one. Yeah, because I love both the sports, but I feel like I'd go for a national team. Like representing my country has been it's a goal, like in both ways, like representing it through, like in soccer or in netball. But if the opportunity comes in netball, saying like I'll be part of the national team, then I'm taking it, regardless that I love soccer or what. But not to say I'm gonna neglect it, but the bigger picture.
The next question is crazy because now it's sort of like similar to what I just asked. But for you, when you visualize yourself, the end product in terms of sports for SIZEKA ADOONS, where do you see yourself in either of these two teams? I mean, two sports that you're playing, because I'd like to believe everybody, for whatever they do, like they have a bigger picture. They're like, one day I'll be here. Whether it happens in the future or don't, like the future will forever be uncertain. We don't know. But one certain thing is we can set that goal and say, that's my bigger picture. So where do you see yourself in both of them?
Like you just mentioned something very important, that we don't know what the future holds. But I see myself playing for my national, like for the national team. And netball. Yeah. Like I see it. But then it's a goal that I've set for myself. I feel like, I think, like for a long time ago, but like setting it in terms of at the age of 25, I'll be playing for the national team. Like I feel like I've worked towards it. Maybe I didn't put enough effort, but yeah, we don't know what the future holds, and I'm still here, and I'm 25 now. Yeah. So it can still happen, because some people got their debut when they were like 29, 30. So like it can still happen, but yeah, playing for the national team, it's something.
It's the goal.
Also in soccer, because I feel like I'm also sorry to brag, but yeah, I'm a national team material. Look, like in soccer, like I see it. I see myself.
Okay, let's close it off because we're out of time, right? Last question. How do you play with your nails? Do you have to cut them now? No, I know you have them because you graduating and all. But do you have to cut your nails every now and then?
Yeah, in netball we don't play with nails, nothing. Like
At
even
all.
if they're a bit short or something, no, we don't play with nails at all. So this was just for my graduation. This coming weekend they'll be off or just filed. So I'm never playing with them. Because it's a danger, like not only for me, like for the other players as well.
Yeah, contact sports.
Exactly, and it's intense in netball. So
I I understand. But thank you so much for coming through and chilling with us.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how we wrap it up. And every time I wrap anything up, I have to say this: to whom much is given, much is expected, and to whom much is expected, much is required. Every champion that is a champion today was once a contender, refused to give up. I'm Mpixo P, the greatest gold winner. I'll see you next time. Ayoba.
Create the highest